Gee, Steve, what are we going to do tonight?
Same thing we do every podcast. Tell him how we sees it.
What are you doing?
What do you mean, what am I doing?
I mean, you're gonna ruin your appetite.
I'm hungry.
We're never late for Sunday dinner. Should we wait?
I guess. You're late.
What do you mean?
What do you mean, what do I mean? You're late for dinner.
Oh, yes, we are. We're late
By
for
a
dinner.
single minute.
Yes, we were just.
I had to put some aloe iodine
just
on
had
my
to-
shoulder.
do his shoulder and.
Why is that breakfast cereal on the dinner table?
Why are you being weird?
We're not.
We're not
being
acting
weird.
weird.
Well, I'm doing that weird thing with your face.
Oh, we don't know what you're talking about.
Are you pregnant?
Yeah. Right.
Yes,
How
yes.
do you know that?
Have you looked into your husband's face?
I know. He just cannot keep a secret.
What? Really?
Yeah.
What? You are gonna be the best mom. Oh my God.
And you are gonna be the best dad. Just kidding. You are out of your depth. But we're gonna be the best uncles ever. Okay, we should eat.
Here we go. It's How We Sees It, episode 298. This week we're tackling Fantastic Four First Steps. This is the fifth Fantastic Four. I think there's three that people have seen and one that nobody had seen.
Right.
I've seen it, but yes, if you count
Roger
the one that
Corman,
was
is that what the...
the Roger Corman that they basically did so they wouldn't lose the rights to it.
Was that in
Yeah,
the,
this is the
was
fifth
that
one.
the 60s one or the 70s one or something?
No, it was I
94?
want to say, the
Oh.
80s, because they used to. I saw it because they used to sell bootlegs of it at conventions.
But you're right. But you're right. It was so they wouldn't lose the rights to it, right?
Yeah. They had the rights, and it's like, yeah, if you don't make a movie in the next,
Every 10
18
years, it
months or
seems
whatever.
like.
Yeah,
I
if
think
you don't
that's
make a
what they
movie
do, yeah.
in the next 18 months, you lose the rights. So they got Roger Corman, who's notorious. As I said, he's famous for making movies that are, one, extremely cheap, and two, really look like it. So
Yeah.
so they're like, do this as fast as you can, and he did, and
And it looked like it.
Yeah.
and it looked like it. Here's the funny thing, though. I was just watching like an Easter egg thing, and the guy who played Mr. Fantastic in that original one in the 80s was the voice of the radio news announcer when they're flying around in the Fantastic car.
And I think they have all four of them in like a one shot too, like in the crowd.
I wouldn't be surprised.
They all four play a part, but the two of them are voices of newscasts and two are construction workers. I did see that as a we'll work it up. And, and it came out in 1994.
So I did watch the other four. I didn't watch the 1995 one because I didn't know about it until just now. And
I think it's on YouTube.
yeah, I'll check it out. But I did watch the first, the 2005. I watched the Revenge of the Silver. What is it? Not the Revenge of the flight, the story, the Fantastic Voyage of the Silver Surfer, whatever it is. And then I watched the 2015 one, which, if you look at it, obviously it wasn't owned by the Marvel Studios at that time. Otherwise, it wasn't even part of the MCU remotely. But anyhow.
No, this is the first MCU version of the Fantastic Four,
Yeah.
the first family, as Marvel likes to call them, which they came out in 1961. And, this was a lot of people's, they've fans of the comic books and fans of Fantastic Four specifically have been chomping at the bit for a good movie, and it's one of those ones. It's like, how can you not make a good movie of this? Like, why is this not working? They've had
that's what I've been saying. It's the comic is so good, and they screwed up the movie so bad.
Yeah, and I don't know why it is. I mean, I've watched them, and yes, they're not great, but they have bits and pieces that are decent. I mean, we have the 2005 Fantastic Four, which, you know, probably one of the better Johnnies in this, but I mean, he just happened to be a better Captain America with Chris Evans. You know, and then also you had Michael Chiklis as Ben Grimm, which he's a great Ben, you know, and the thing, but something about the production of it was not great. It was like
him as the Thing just didn't look.
The looks weren't right. The voice and the attitude were right, but the look wasn't.
The way they did the special effects or whatever and everything, it just wasn't. Yeah.
You know, and that was not too bad, but you know, and the story's not the greatest, but it just didn't work. And then we had the 2015 one, which, you know, some people say it was
fucking horrible.
I didn't like it at all. I don't think I like Miles Teller, but I do not think he made a great Reed Richards at all. Michael B. Jordan, as good as he is, I don't think was a great Johnny Storm. There was things about it.
I think they had all the wrong people for all the wrong parts. I think Rooney Mara was the closest one to being there, but Kate Mara, sorry,
Kate Mara as Sue Storm, yeah.
I think she was the closest one to being able to pull it off. But the thing that I had trouble with was just the story was so disjointed all over the place. Like, it didn't really follow a theme, and it's like they start to go down a path, and then they're like, let's go back and we'll try something else or whatever.
Right.
So, it just didn't really have a continuity to it, in my opinion.
Yeah,
sure. And you can read a lot about, you know, the director's frustration with how the production studio came in and just ripped his movie apart and kind of.
Yeah.
But I do agree. I think the casting was off. It didn't work for that iteration. But that leads us up to a more present day one.
It does, and we'll get into that a lot because there's a lot of things to talk about. Like, casting is pretty good. I do have some issues with some of the casting.
Wait, what?
I do. Some minor.
You have issues?
I do.
You have issues with one of the movies we're reviewing? Get out of here. You're usually so agreeable.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know about that. But before we get to all that, one of the things I do know we all agree is that we make great cocktails, and we do that too this episode. We pair them with whatever it is we're watching, and this time we're going to make some fantastic cocktails for you guys. Well, all right, Bo, since you're so up on this, why don't you start off?
Yeah, so I made a 4-component cocktail, including the cooling agent, including the vessel and everything. So every one of the components represents somebody from the Fantastic Four. The first one was, I did Fireball, obviously representing Johnny Storm. I have 2 rocks that are actual stone, like bourbon rocks, so they don't dilute the drink or anything like that.
Yeah.
If you look in the picture, see this glass? Can you see it's like it's rubbery?
Silicone?
It's silicone, so so it bends like Reed Richards, like Mr. Fantastic. And then also I broke out.
Like, hey, I can bend. Come on, what?
Right, exactly. Not like this, buddy. So then the last thing I did was I broke out some really special Louis the 13th, which is, if you buy it in a restaurant, 1 ounce of it's about $250 to $300. And if you look in the photo, you'll see it pictured there right between the glass and the Fireball. If you guys open up the photo that I sent, you'll see it's right there. But that represents Sue Storm, so it might be tough to see it. So you can check that out. So I took that and I poured it over the rocks, 1 ounce each of the Louis the 13th and the Fireball. Let's see how this tastes.
Nice.
That's really nice. It's like the Fireball is actually smoothed out a lot by the Louis the 13th. I think putting that amount of money into it really paid off. It really has a nice balance to it. It doesn't get too cold with the bourbon rocks, and I'd recommend it. I'd give that one a shot if you guys were gonna try one out. And then for the beer, I got it's by Paperback Brewing. It's called I added the post, but it's called Modern Family. It's a 7% hazy IPA, and I
think I've had that one before.
Yeah, I added the post to it because it's all postmodern here, and they are a family. I mean, I think that's undeniable. I mean, it's even though Ben Grimm's not related by blood. He is,
He's cousin.
described as an uncle. He's a cousin. He's described as an uncle to the new Richards baby, and that's pretty much the whole thing. So so there you go.
It's that found family. I mean, he's the best friend, and been there forever, and kind of stuff like that. And so I mean, he's as much as an uncle as you'll ever get, kind of thing. And I do think they did a good job with that in the movie with the uncle business.
I do agree.
All right, Nina, what do you got for us?
Well, I went to the internet and somebody, luckily for me, had made a bunch of cocktails based on the different characters in this. And I was looking at them to get inspiration, and the Mr. Fantastic I looked at, and it is essentially a gin and tonic with a couple extra, with a citrus swing on it. So
nice.
that is right up my alley. It's 2 ounces of dry gin, 3/4 ounce of blue curacao, 1/2 ounce of lemon juice, 1/2 ounce of simple syrup, and an egg white.
Of course. I was wondering if somebody's going to do an egg white for the teleportation thing.
Sure. And I also got to use.
Maybe not. Obviously, maybe not. That was the reason. But go ahead.
It might be. It might be. I got to use my cocktail shaker, which is very 60s. This movie takes place in the alternate 60s. You dry shake it first to get the egg white off foamy. Then you wet shake it with ice. Strain it into a Collins glass. Top with some new ice and soda water. It said to serve it with a blue twisty straw, which I did not get. But as you can see, it's a good color.
It's got the right color. It's got the blue.
Yeah, it looks
for
like
them.
Yeah, it looks exactly like the Fantastic Four uniform.
No, it looks like the milk that Luke drank on Tatooine.
Or that.
Yeah,
You're very close.
But anyway, I started sipping it, and I'm not a huge fan of the egg white, but other than that, it's very tasty. So
yeah, that's
but
funny.
I love a gin and tonic.
Delicious.
So
no, that's right up my alley. It's funny that
Did you store your ice in one of those round things with the penguins on the side? One of those round ice buckets with the penguins on the side?
I do not have one of those.
Oh, no, nor do I. But they're all over Palm Springs.
Here's the thing: Sharon has 2 of them now because she had the one in Mom and Dad's house, and she bought one on eBay.
She has one. We have not divided up the stuff in her house yet.
You're right. Well, you can grab it if you want, because you guys drink a lot more than me. But anyway,
So,
she already has.
Lately. You might be surprised lately.
Arguably, she already has one, so she doesn't need it. They're cool.
Yeah.
So, that's funny that you went with a drink that I would normally go with. I love the gin and tonics. That's kind of a go-to. I was going back and forth on different drinks, and I actually had thought of one when I read Steve's and thought of a cool one that I could have done. But what I had done, I ended up doing, I call the Power Cosmic. And it was one that I had seen someone kind of do, but they used a few different ingredients. I kind of changed it up on my own. And it's very similar to yours in a way, because they actually had a gin. I didn't go with a gin. I went with that Blue Ice Huckleberry vodka, just because it sits there and I really like it, and it mixes well into a citrusy type drink like this. And so I wanted to go with that also. So I did 2 ounces of that. The blue ice kind of fits into the blue theme of the cosmic and the space and stuff like that. And the Power Cosmic is a big part of this story. That's kind of what Galactus is filled with and what he sees in Franklin and stuff like that. So it has a big part of this story. To add on to that, I went with a 1/2 ounce of elderflower, because that's kind of just what I like it to do in a drink. It just goes really well. I happen to have a lime or a lemon sitting there from our lemon tree, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna cut that open and squeeze a 1/2 ounce of that into there. Then went with a ounce of the blue curacao. I think I gave it a generous ounce, so I wanted to make sure it had a really good blue color. Then I went with the Fee Foam, because I don't do egg whites, but I wanted that kind of thick mixture, kind of almost like a sour, that kind of texture to it. But then to get the Power Cosmic, I went with the edible glitter that I happen to have. So I did a couple little shakes of some silver edible glitter in there. put it in my shaker, shook it up, and I poured mine into a chilled stemless martini glass. I just think it looks really good. No extra ice in that at all. And poured it out, and it looked really good. I haven't had a sip of it yet, but I did smell it, and it smells delicious. Something about that huckleberry vodka, it just brings out the essence of everything in it. It has a great smell to it. So, and in the picture, you can really see the glitter in the picture. It looks really nice. So,
sounds great.
It's actually very tasty. The only problem is it's cooled down, or it's warmed up, I should say.
Yeah.
Like this is one you got to hit right after you pour it, kind of thing. This is a quick drink while it's cold. I could see it being really good. Not bad with a little bit of room temperature warmth, but not the greatest.
Yeah,
So if you make that one, drink it fast.
The one I poured for myself, I made a couple hours ago when I was, playing with some of the ratios, and it was really cold and it was delicious. This one's, I think, a little better made. I got the ratios right, but it's warmed up a little for me, so it's missing out on that because we've been talking.
Tell us about it, Steve.
All right. Well, so I called my cocktail the Sexy Alien, which is what Johnny Storm refers to, Silver Surfer, which I approve of. I'm a big Julia Garner fan, and
I didn't know it was her for the longest time. Go ahead, Steve. It took me a while.
I recognize the expression right away, which is interesting, right behind, because she's obviously computer generated, but they use her mannerisms, and I'm like, I know that, and so I was excited when I landed that name. It's like, okay, Julia Garner from Ozark is what. What I know her so well from. And it's also kind of a controversial casting, too, considering it's taking on Shala Ball as opposed to a male Silver Surfer. And I'm sure we're going to talk about that, of course, because this is how he sees it.
Yes.
But so I wanted to make a Sexy Alien cocktail, leaning into that alluring, mysterious cocktail stuff. But I decided to lean into all spirits and liqueurs that started with the letter F, because man, there's a lot of F words in this. There's Fantastic Four, First Steps, Flame On, Future Foundation, and then of course it's all about family. So I thought, why not? I'm gonna check and see what I've got that's leading into the F. My base, I started with an Amaro base, the Faccia Brutto Amaro. Which is a dark, bittersweet, adds a little mystery to the cocktail, which I thought was a good for that sexy vibe. And then a 1/2 ounce of, let's say 1 ounce of the Amaro, 1/2 ounce of Falernum. We all know how sexy Falernum is: exotic, spice, sweetness, seductive pull of that. Then I'm going to add, I added 1 ounce of Fino Sherry. That's a very refined sherry, elegant. Adds some grace, refinement to the cocktail. Again, I'm leading into that Sexy Alien. And then this is the ingredient that made my cocktail. I went with a fig syrup. I made this myself. I got some fresh figs, and I whipped up a syrup with some sugar and some water, and I boiled it for a while, and then I strained it, and ooh, this is a good syrup. I had 3/4 of an ounce of this fig syrup. So there you're going to get some real sensual depth, a fig. Come on, right? And then like a lot of our other people here, I added some egg white, and I went with the actual egg white. The idea here is I'm going for the foam, the F foam, and again adding a little sexy, silky texture to it. And no wonder Johnny is in love with this lovely Shala Ball. Or I don't know if he's in love, but he's certainly
he's interested.
And it makes for a damn good cocktail. So I really highly recommend it. Notice again, I don't have any spirit, any liquor, no base liquor. My base spirit was a liqueur. Excuse me. My base was a liqueur. So really good cocktail. Really, I think the fig is a good key ingredient. So anyway, the Sexy Alien.
If you were to replace that egg with some fee foam, you would have had the FF.
I know. But
that sounds great.
But I like egg. I like the egg white. I don't worry about that. So yeah.
My other cocktail I was contemplating, and I didn't go this route, but I kind of wanted to, and I wasn't sure on what I was going to do with it, but I kind of wanted to do one based off of the same character, Silver Surfer, Shalabal. But I was going to call it Glitter Tits. And it was basically just going to be based on the silver, and it was going to be kind of similar as I had now, but more of a just a clear with the silver edible glitter and go in that route. But
like my
no,
Tessmacher Peaks.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
No, I think she was a great character in this. I think in a way she may have been one of the top characters of this whole story, in a way, in a family of four that should be dominating this. She has a more interesting story than at least three of them.
Well, I think she tapped in on to Johnny's energy and certainly Sue's energy as far as kind of amplifying some of the things that they were dealing with, and so added more depth to their stories. If that's, are you saying that, or are you saying her story on her own?
I'm just saying her story on her own. The character, when she was around, she was more interesting. Her surfing, her action was phenomenal. Like, I have never been a big Silver Surfer fan. Not that, I've read tons of the comics. I don't know a lot about them, but just when you see a comic and you see a character, Silver Surfer has never been one to me that has stood out as like, it's a silver guy on a surfboard. It doesn't seem that cool, but she made it look cool. Surfing the lava,
too much gratuitous surfing. Too much, I thought. Just too
what
much.
What else are you
surfing.
gonna do on a surfboard?
I don't know, fly around on it like the other movies. Like, I just think there's too much.
Surfer.
That's what made it cool.
No, I that was one of my biggest problems with it. Was just like every chance they got for her to surf on something, she surfed on it.
I mean, it's not like it's in her name or anything. It's not like she's the Silver Surfer like that. I mean, it's
but,
not.
I mean,
she's not the Aqua pickleball player. She is the Silver Surfer.
Do you see Tony Stark standing in front of an ironing board just like all day? Just like
no, that's Pepper. That's Pepper's job. You've heard the joke, right? What's the difference between Iron Man and Iron Woman?
No.
One's a superhero, the other's a command.
Oh God. No, I had not heard that.
Anyhow, back to this story. Yes. We have our first family, right? We got Reed Richards, played by Pedro Pascal, Sue Storm by Vanessa Kirby, Ben Grimm as by Eben Moss Bacharach, and Johnny Storm by Joseph Quinn. Now, in just the four of them, they do individually represent their characters pretty well. My biggest problem with the casting that I had was I don't think Pedro Pascal is a great Reed Richards. I don't think he's horrible. He's not the worst. But when we had the absolute best casting in the Doctor Strange movie, I'm sorry, but I think Marvel blew it. I think Pedro Pascal just doesn't bring.
What do you mean? You're saying with Benedict Crumblebacker?
No.
No.
Jim from The Office.
John Krasinski.
Yeah.
Oh, John, that one. I got you. That Doctor Strange one. Sorry, yes.
There was a hot rumor for a while when they were talking about we're doing a Fantastic Four movie, and it's like they were going to have him and his wife play.
Which would be great.
Pam? Sue Storm, yeah.
Pam was his real. I'm kidding.
No,
I know
his real wife. What's her face?
The one that's
Emily
in
Blunt?
Emily Blunt. Yeah. Thank you.
Quiet Game.
She was in Devil Wears Prada, Quiet Place, all that kind of stuff. Not the Quiet Game.
Yeah.
Quiet Game's an different movie.
I was gonna that's not
I
right.
thought, you know what? I thought it would have been awesome. I mean, they should have. I mean, I think it would have been pretty fantastic if they would have thrown. Is it Randall Park? If they would have thrown Randall Park in this in some way, because you guys have seen the joke, right? He's the only Park's the only person who's played two different people in the MCU, in the MCU. He's played the guy from WandaVision, the cop, and he's in WandaVision, and he's also from Ant-Man, but he also plays Mr. Fantastic in Doctor Strange, because on The Office, there's an episode of The Office where Randall Park, they play a joke on Dwight, and Randall Park comes in and he's saying he's Jim, and they play this total joke
I see what you're saying.
on Dwight. So he comes in and he's Jim, and he kisses Pam, and they have a picture of him with kids with Pam in the picture, and he knows his password and all that kind of stuff and everything. So that's kind of the running joke. I think it would have been just a great little nod if they could have snuck him in there.
Or at least have him as doing a cosplay or something.
Or whatever. Right, exactly. Dressed up like Mr. Because it was Halloween, dressed up as Mr. Fantastic for Halloween or something like that or whatever.
Randall Park did a behind the scenes when John Krasinski was doing what's the movie? One of his movies that he was directing.
I thought it was Quiet Place. Was it it was the cartoon. I forget which one it was, but it was
say It, but I could be wrong with It. No.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It was something
about the stuffed or the animal that follows. But anyway, he did it behind the scenes, so he was playing like he was John Krasinski, but it was all playing into that Office joke. And
yes.
That's a good.
So back to my problems with Pedro Pascal. I just didn't see him as a Reed Richards. He didn't do it for me. That's fine. I'm not saying for everybody else. For me, I didn't care for him.
Do you think I found that this story didn't really explore the characters too much. I think it gave us a good foundation, but there's a lot of room to really kind of grow these characters. I didn't think they leaned into the characters as much as they could have, and I don't know if that might have been on purpose. Like they were saying, okay, we don't want to overdo this first movie. Let's just put some brush strokes out there.
I've got a thought on that too.
Well, let's go back to the Reed Richards thing though, real quick. I just want to throw this out there. I would say of the recent, definitely, I haven't seen the 95 one, but from what Nina describes it as, it's garbage. So I don't really have to describe anything, but of the last three movies, I think he's definitely the best of the last three, the first two, and then the one with Michael B. Jordan and Miles Teller.
He's the best of what we've gotten from an actual Fantastic Four movie.
Right. They're stepping in the right direction. I mean, it's not perfect. I get that.
With what they had in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness with Krasinski is so spot on to not follow it up.
To me, there wasn't enough in that movie to really suggest that. I didn't get much out of that. To me, it almost.
I was going to say he had like 3 sentences and then was killed. I mean, it's.
But but that's the thing is he has.
He wasn't really that smart.
He has the look. I think he seemed more intelligent than Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal has this look about him and the way he acts where he's more of a. He didn't come off smart to me. He didn't come off of, Reed Richards has this almost. He's so smart. He's almost kind of annoying. There's no. You don't have a quirkiness with him. He's not a likable guy in that aspect. He's more.
Yeah, I found Pedro Pascal's portrayal. He was intelligent, but he was a little fumbly when it came to his marriage and like not knowing what he didn't want to. He had a pregnant wife. Didn't want to make things bad. So he sometimes seemed a little. Unsure of himself, and
it's hard to do the intelligent.
Awkward too.
It's hard to do the intelligent thing. It's hard to do the intelligent thing in a movie. Now the other one, and this is weird because I really like Ebon Moss-Bachrach, but I couldn't separate Cousin from Ben Grimm, and I think it has to do.
They didn't do him any favors by making him cook all the time.
I know. I think that was actually a nod to
I'm sure it was
his role in The Bear. Yeah.
I mean, I just kept waiting for him to say "manja, baby." It just
or drop a bunch of F-bombs or something. I mean,
I think he did a good job. Like, I think The Thing is probably one of the best visuals that we've had of The Thing. Although the beard thing, I wasn't really into. Other people.
I love the fucking beard.
I was like, I thought it was awkward, but I'm not a huge deep into the Fantastic Four comics. So I don't know if he ever grew a beard in the comics. I don't know if it's even possible. You know what I mean? It's well, why is he growing a beard and not growing hair on top of his head? He had hair when he was a regular man. Why isn't he growing hair on top of his rock head? You know what I mean? It just doesn't. There's some parts of it I was kind of like, oh, it's a little bit awkward.
Galactic power. I mean, something about who knows. But back to the Reed Richards thing you were talking about. Just I want to get back to that real quick about how he was sort of like didn't know how to act, didn't know what to do about his wife being pregnant and all that kind of stuff and everything. I think he was just really like he's a true nerd guy. Like he is socially awkward, doesn't know how to act around people, doesn't know how to act in social situations, like doesn't know like how to have a relationship. Like I'm shocked that Sue Storm, I mean,
everybody is
good looking. Yeah, but I mean it's like, he's a total nerd and she's like, normally
see, that's the thing is I don't think he's
great looking person and all that kind of stuff. But I got him as super smart.
He's not the nerd that you would think of, like the typical. No. Here's what I'm saying is he's more of a high level scientist intelligence where it's almost like he's too smart for his own good. He doesn't know. You're right. He doesn't know how to get around socially, and I don't think it came off as this. He has this. He's got this quality to, and it's Pedro Pascal coming out. It's like, there's something about him that just people gravitate. He's
famous enough in other stuff. That's the thing, I think.
Well, and it's also the way he plays it. He's kind of got this cuteness about him. I'm not. That's not the right way to say it, but this.
He's just got a way about him.
Yeah, and it just didn't hit me as the Reed Richards I was hoping to see. Ben Grimm, they played. I like the fact that they didn't go too deep into some of the other stuff. We're like, I'm just a monster, but he was very. He's the gentle giant in a way, right? But we didn't get to see him be a giant either. Like they didn't have the action for him that really. This is the other part of where I think that Sue Storm. This is a family movie, all about family, but it's mostly about Sue Storm. She does everything.
There is a lot of Sue in this.
Yeah,
and I didn't realize she was that strong. I didn't realize how strong she was either until I saw this movie. Like she might have had mom strength, but she pushed Galactus back like he was nothing.
That's what it was supposed to be. Is it a hysterical strength, right? I looked it up. The term
the mom strength. Yeah, women pick cars off their children, all that kind of stuff, or whatever you read about.
That's the reference I've heard. Yeah.
It's not just women; it's anybody. I think it's
but
it's more.
Yeah.
It's more typical of the mom pulled the car off their child. But it's anybody that pulls that hysterical strength from whatever deep feeling. And I got that, and I like that, and I thought it was great. Mm-hmm. But everything seemed to be about her, and I wanted to see more. Johnny Storm, he got, a lot of flying around and flaming up stuff, but I just kind of missed. We had the best Fantastic Four movie ever released by Pixar, right?
Sure.
We had The Incredibles. So there's that fight when they're on the island and they're working together. Where was that in this? That's what I wanted to see. This is my biggest problem with this movie is I think they shot for the stars too early. I think they should have given us all those little fights, right? Show them fighting Mole Man, show them fighting Red Ghost, show them fighting whoever it is they gave us the little tidbits on. Make us care about these people before they go after Galactus.
I heard they actually were going to do that. Like the whole thing, there's this like a 5-second scene where I think it's where they throw like an orangutan out of the Baxter building. That was actually, they had a whole segment filmed with John Malkovich playing this villain who has
the Red Ghost.
super powered monkeys. And I think it's possible they also had something with Mole Man because, there's a whole subplot in the comic. I mean, for him to like come out of nowhere at the end, I kind of got the sense that there was more to him. And
well, he's also. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, anyway, but yeah, I wonder if they had originally this film was going to be much longer, and they're like, no, we gotta cut it down to the bare bones, because
I think that's also a problem. Give me more. But I thought I wanted a lower tier right? We need an Iron Man 1 where he's not saving the whole world. We need a Captain America, the first, Avenger, where we're getting introduced to him, but we're finding we don't need the them going to space and getting the powers again. But give us year one, right? Give us the like they did with the new Batman, where he's already Batman. We're not seeing his parents get killed again, but we're seeing him put together the early stages of things, like how they're working together, how they're fighting with each other as a family. Maybe they should have.
You want something more origin based?
I would have, because they went after Galactus, which, granted, I know Galactus is a huge Fantastic Four villain and Marvel villain, but we're talking a world eater, so they're saving the entire their Infinity War out the gate, and it's like I'm not ready for that yet. You guys haven't got me hooked like that yet.
I think, but the thing is, I think because they're in this is my sense, is because they're in an alternate universe, and we saw the end of
Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts, yes, with the Fantastic, with their rocket showing up. So I kind of have the feeling it's like, all right, we got to get everything into this. We got to get, their origins, how they're famous, how they're, how they work together, and how powerful they all are, because we're about to drop them in the middle of Doomsday. And I think if they had like 2 movies maybe before they did that, or 3 movies, like in the original.
Well, I think they could have done it with 2.
But like in the Infinity War saga, like everybody got a couple of movies and before they all went after the.
Well, but it was steps. It was building up steps, and that's where I think they're making a mistake. They're jumping right into Doomsday with all they're not giving us the why is Doom so bad? We're not getting any lead into it. We're just
I would kind of argue that they've kind of they've fumbled the ball this last 5 years enough to where they don't have the they don't have the extra elbow room to take their time and build these characters. They're kind of in a bind. They've got to try to kind of create these characters, make a good movie, and then give you something a lot more than just.
They're running their 2-minute offense and it's not working.
Well, you mentioned Mole Man and The Incredibles, and I remember seeing Mole Man. I'm like, oh, is that a nod to The Incredibles because of the Underminer and stuff like that? But really, it's the other way around.
The original was.
The Incredibles put Underminer in there as a nod to the Mole Man.
Mole Man's been in it since the beginning, right? Mole Man's been a character.
Yeah, but
I want to say he's their first villain. He was in issue 1 in 1961. Oh, wow.
But it's kind of a nod to. I mean, it shows that Incredibles is really making a nod to Fantastic Four as opposed to
100%.
Yeah,
100%. I think so.
He was also played by Paul Walter Hauser, who, to me, when he showed up as Mole Man, I laughed out loud in the theater because of our recent coverage of the Cobra Kai show.
Oh, he's in the Cobra Kai show?
Right.
Yeah, and he's a joke character in Cobra Kai, but it makes it so funny. You're just like, oh my God, this guy's killing it. And then, I'm seeing he's in so many other things that people are like, oh, matter of fact, he's in The Naked Gun, which we're going to be covering next week.
Really?
The guy is just, the guy's just killing it with all these stuff. And people that I listened to.
Is she one of those guys that's been in like 150 movies and you don't really notice it kind of a guy?
63, apparently.
But there's some guys you look up. Like we'll look up guys like we're watching something. We'll be like, this guy's been in 175 fucking TV shows and movies. Like, what? Well, that's shit?
Apparently I didn't recognize him from anything, and so he's been in a ton of stuff. So I thought it was really cool because he was such a kind of goofy character in there that I was like, oh, this is just a new guy that's kind of. But no, he's been putting in the work, and he's getting recognized, and I really like that. It was kind of cool to have him in there. And the fact that the moment in hilarious fact too, is the way they used him. Like I would have almost rather seen this as like give us that first, like give us that mole man fight. Why is he friendly with the Fantastic Four now enough that they can chit chat and he can have a conversation in almost like a, I'll do anything for you, Sue, but fuck you guys, as they're walking out the room.
Well,
like, you know what I mean?
There's a whole story to that. I mean, it's
show us that. That's what I mean. That would have been a great.
That's what I'm saying. I bet if they filmed it because it was one of those things. It's like Mole Man attacked the surface, and in the course of the battle, Sue Storm saved his wife's life, and he was arrested. But
Mole Man was arrested?
Well, yeah, Mole Man was arrested, but then he was in jail, and he's like, I'm very sorry. I would like to live in harmony with the surface dwellers, and Sue Storm kind of brokered the whole peace treaty. Again, I would not be surprised if, maybe they didn't film it, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was a large part of the original script. But yeah,
if they have enough of these scenes that they actually created and had to trim back, it'd be nice if they like released them as shorts and on Disney Plus or something like that.
Maybe they will.
Or on the DVD if they still release.
Well,
DVDs,
yeah, I mean
that's
that's a typical way they do it. All the cut scenes
or the director's cut.
But it'd be nice
director's cut, like Blade Runner.
It'd be nice for them to actually turn these into little shorts. So it's like let's tell you more about the family and you know. And it almost begs the question. They almost could have done that before the movie was released, just to kind of give, like what Noah's asking for, a little bit more of a base knowledge of who these people are, so that when they throw you into this,
I just think it would have been a better thing to, instead of tackling, you know, the world-ending, you know, Galactus. Right off the bat, I think that was one of the mistakes they made in the earlier Fantastic Four. Like Silver Surfer is a great character and stuff, but it's also it's you know, gigantic style story. Like, give us something to chew on first. Get us to like these characters before you feed us this world-ending. We got to believe these guys, because in the end I was like I wasn't sold on them. And I know them enough that I was like, oh, I should be into this, and I just wasn't. Like, I wanted more of that family feel. I wanted more of, like, you know, why they care each other. And I don't need the origin story of them going into space and having to deal with getting hit with the cosmic rays and changing, and Ben Grimm coming back and, oh, I'm a monster and everybody hates me, and, you know, and Reed Richards dealing with, like, oh, I turned everybody into these, you know, abnormal people and stuff like that. The other thing is,
well, I like that they backed off of that. Are you saying the same thing, that they backed off of that in this movie, that it wasn't so, like, you know,
they did. I
like that they did.
I don't want that origin story, but I want year one. I want like they're doing with the Batman year one, where it's like they're already got the suits on. Give us that early, them figuring out, them finding their steps, finding, you know,
you want
how to
like,
work together.
Like Thunderbolts,
what I'm
that kind
saying
of builds
is,
characters. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bo.
I guess what I'm saying is the way they presented Ben Grimm and Reed Richards. Like, if you look at the way they're always in the past movies, like you're saying, like especially in the 2005 version, he was like, I'm ugly, I'm terrible, I have to have a blind girlfriend. And, you know, in the second movie, you know, similar kind of a thing, like, oh, I'm the worst thing in the world, like I'm like, don't look at myself or whatever in the mirror, all that kind of stuff and everything, like, and it's so bad. And this one, it's like he's accepted. He's like, you know, like the kids want him to pick up a car, the kids want him to throw it and all that kind of stuff.
Yes,
I like that. I like that Reed Richards wasn't like he was like, I can fix it, but that's kind of like, he's always like that, but he's not like. But that's, like, it's all, like he said, it's my fault, but he didn't dwell on it so much.
But give us the early diversion. Like I said, I would have liked a year one of this. Like, Ben's over a little bit of the monster stuff, and he's kind of finding his footing. He's finding the kids in the town love him. You know, in that scene too, we get Natasha Lyonne as
fucking
Rachel.
Great casting. Great casting.
I don't like her.
I like her a lot.
Well, okay,
I like her a lot.
Hold on. I enjoy her, but I also I maybe it's because I watched the latest what the hell is it, that show? Poker Face. I enjoyed the first season, but I kind of got tired of female Columbo. Like, I don't know. Like, I know her voice is her signature, but it got old. Like, I'm like, it just. And granted, the first scene she's in, she doesn't have her typical "I smoke a cigar every 50 seconds" voice. And it worked a little bit better. But I was almost like, I don't know. I'm kind of I'm not sure I like her or don't like her. But I was like, okay, I get it. It's a good story. I like the story aspect of it. I just wasn't sure if I cared for her. Not to say that other people can't. I didn't think it was a bad casting. I'm almost like I can't not see her from the Poker Face, and season 2 just kind of rubbed me wrong.
Because there wasn't much in this movie to really give you an opinion on who this character is. It's just a few. I mean, you see her a number of times, but they don't really do much with it. So you draw things from other things you've seen. Yeah.
Exactly.
Here's the thing. I've loved her for years since she did Slums of Beverly Hills, and as a kid, I think she was like 16 in that. And
I didn't realize she's done so much shit. I was like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, she's done a ton. But
sorry,
I think
Tina, sorry, I missed that.
Sorry, Slums of Beverly Hills.
Oh, I never. Okay.
This was I want to say late 80s, early 90s. Andrew and I.
Here's one of your actors that's done 137 things that you wouldn't even know.
Yeah, but I've always liked her, and I think one of the reasons she was cast in this is because Ben Grimm's character is such a New Yorker.
Oh,
and
okay.
also canonically
Jewish,
a devout Jew. So they needed somebody who she has a great New York accent.
Yes.
And and she looks Jewish. So,
I think she might even be Jewish.
She probably is. I don't know that for sure. I don't know that for sure. I wouldn't be surprised, but yeah.
But no, you're right. That is it is a great casting for that, and I'll give you 100% on that one. I would, like I said, when I went and looked at her filmography on IMDb, I was shocked at how much stuff she's been in. I didn't realize she was in American Pie.
American Pie, yeah. But I could place her now after hearing that.
I was going to say she started out. I think she was like a child actress.
Yes.
And has just like worked more or less continuously. She was great in Orange is the New Black.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was
on that.
Yeah. And
that's where I first remember seeing her, and then we watched the Poker Face. I liked the first season. The second season just didn't hit me right, and it got a little odd.
The second season's was not as good. I agree with.
What about Russian Doll?
Yes, I did see Russian Doll too.
Yeah, I liked season 1 of that.
Here you go. Here's another character that is actually played 2 people in the MCU, because she voices the character Birdie in What If, which is the child of Howard the Duck and Darcy.
Oh my God.
So, you want to talk about people that have been 2 characters?
Yeah. Nice.
There's your tie-in. No, I like that story. I do like that story of Ben. I love the fact that the kids are all cheering for him.
Yeah.
And I love the fact he's like, hey, say clobbering time. He's like, oh, that's not what I do. Like, that's not a thing I do. Which then I really hate the fact that Johnny gets him to say it when they're attacking Galactus. They should have fucking stayed with, no, that's not something I do. He should have said something else. I know it's from the comics. I know it's a big deal, but it's like, if you're going to go with, no, I don't say that, then stay with, no, I don't say that. Otherwise, you're a sellout, Ben.
I don't know.
I thought it fit.
He's actually.
I thought he was.
I thought it was good timing.
I didn't have a problem with it. I think it was Chekhov's catchphrase. They had to deploy it at some point.
All right. I get it, but I also I hate the fact that he got so sidelined in the Galactus fight. He knocks down some pillars, and that's about it.
Well, don't get me started on some of the stuff there. So
the Galactus fight was horrible.
Well, the fact that all those columns had no rebar in them as he's knocking them over, but then when they show the rubble, there's all this rebar sticking out of it. Like, where'd the rebar come from? Like,
it's Ben Grimm. He can bust through that rebar.
But then the rebar wouldn't have been seen in the rubble. It would have been just sheared right off, and you wouldn't have seen pieces of rebar laying all over the place.
I don't know. I pulled some out with my tractor, and it comes out of other concrete. It pulls out.
But if the way he's breaking it, when he's breaking it, there's no rebar. He's just busting through the columns. And
you're right, because it was foam.
In the rubble.
Because it was foam at that point.
100% it was. Yes, it was.
But
100%.
I don't like the what do they call it when it's a Godzilla? Is it a Gaiju? No, what is
Kaiju?
Gojira.
Kaiju.
Oh,
right.
Kaiju, yeah, giant.
I didn't care for that aspect at all. I didn't think everybody's like, oh, it was so cool when he landed in the water and crawled down. I'm like, I actually was kind of bored. I literally was bored of that whole last fight. I was kind of like,
yeah,
I was waiting for the incredible style fight when they were fighting the big monster where they're using each other, they're helping each other, they're doing some cool shit. And we got fucking Reed Richards getting stretched like a rubber band. Johnny burning his eye.
I thought he was gonna shoot him like a rubber band at some point. Like
that would have been actually funny.
The way he threw the thing up into the upper atmosphere and Johnny had to save him. I think he would have like stretched him way out and snapped them up into the upper atmosphere too. And,
you know what even have been better is if he wrapped him around his finger and shot him at like Ben and it wrapped around Ben. Yeah. That would have been better.
I know. Right?
I mean,
I do like that they kept the rips in his clothes after the fact. Sorry, Steve, go ahead.
Well, I'm hearing this what you guys are saying, and Noah, you're kind of leaning into things that you were missing, and I gotta say that there was something kind of refreshing about this movie, and I agree it didn't hit a lot of those kind of high action points that you come to expect, but it felt there's something, it leaned into the style, the retro style, the more old style music, the Jetsons and stuff, and I kind of preferred it. It felt kind of like I could kind of relax a little bit. I felt like this is just a movie that's worth more of an eye feast and
okay.
It had a slower pace and there was something, it created something a little different that I wasn't used to in most Marvel movies, that I kind of liked. I as much as I understand your point, I just want to point out that I thought that it showed some restraint in a good way that I want to make sure that I give notice to.
So you are 100% right. This had a visual that was fantastic, not to throw the pun in there, but the futuristic version of it, yeah, the Jetsons of it all. Let's shout out this is my unsung hero of this whole movie, and I think probably one of the ones that overshadows Reed Richards, Ben Grimm, and Johnny Storm is Herbie.
Herbie
was fantastic.
Apparently that's based off of...
You mean R2-D2 for the MCU?
Well...
Oh, come on. He's way different than R2-D2.
Well, Herbie was created in an animated show because they didn't have the rights to Johnny Storm during that animated show. So instead of putting Johnny Storm in, they created this robot. So it was created from this animated series. And so that was...
They had the rights to the other three, but not Johnny Storm?
This was a long time ago.
I'll look it up. I mean, it's interesting. I'm not like asking you for
the 70s.
But I'm just saying that's the origin of Herbie. The fact that they added Herbie alongside all four of the characters is kind of a nod to that show. But I liked the reel-to-reel eyes, and it was a practical robot. Cool. I mean, they did enhance it with some CG, but it was a practical robot.
I loved his voice.
I loved it. Yeah, it was good too. I liked the futuristic of it, the futuristic and postmodern.
Like the retrofuturism.
Like the retrofuturism was definitely awesome. I mean, the architecture, the design, all that kind of stuff was just like. I mean, that might be able to get me to have Kelly watch the movie because there's so much cool stuff like that through the whole thing.
I have to say, let me just jump in. I can't wait till this is like on Disney Plus so I can like look at some of this stuff because there were just like little things that you noticed, like the artwork on the posters and things. And did you notice when they were in Times Square that all of the big like TV screens? Yeah, but they had like the frame around them like TVs used to have in the 70s.
Yeah, the CTR.
Is that what that's called?
CRT.
CRT.
Yeah, but
one letter off.
it looked. Yeah, but they looked like the old
I've been
TVs
drinking.
that you have in
I've
your.
been drinking.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But
No,
they had,
you're right.
They looked like the old TVs, and I mean that was just kind of cool. And and like
It was.
everything was just
Well, like the
and
fireplace with the TV on the
costumes were
backside,
gorgeous.
like in their house.
Right, and
They're clothes. They're clothes.
the clothes. Oh my gosh,
The turtleneck sweaters. Come on.
Well,
their uniforms.
The Ben Grimm with a cardigan. Come on, Ben Grimm with a cardigan was legit.
Sue Storm's maternity wear with the big belt going around. I mean, it was just. I'm like, the costume designer and the just like the art director should definitely get noticed for the awards, but they probably won't because it's a superhero movie.
They
anyway,
might
go
though.
ahead.
They
might. That's
They
true.
might
That's
get-
true.
I mean,
Black
something
Panther.
like costumes.
Black Panther did. Yeah.
They get sound sometimes. They get costumes, things like that. So they might get something
right.
like that.
You're right, Steve. This had a look that we haven't had in the MCU.
Well, it wasn't the look necessarily. I mean, I'm glad we talked about that, but I think I was.
No, I think it is a look.
But I think
you're right.
WandaVision episode 1.
I agree.
Not since WandaVision episode 1 have we had this.
And here's the thing.
I'm agreeing.
It's the same. It's the same guy.
Sorry, Steve.
He directed all the WandaVision.
Oh, he did.
Yeah,
Okay. Sorry, Steve. Go ahead.
I just don't want to lose what my main point when I was talking was that this had more restraint. That it didn't try to dazzle you with so much action, and so it was restrained there, and that's where I was giving it props. And it made you look more at things that were going on the screen.
And I think you're right. Nina hit this right. The rewatchability in this isn't for the story. It isn't for the action. It's for the visuals. It's not even for the characters' interactions with each other. It is for
the Easter
what they're wearing. It is where I think we just did Superman not too long ago, and that has a rewatchability for the story and the fun in it. Like this is what I missed in this. Is like when I was done with this, I wasn't like, oh shit, I need to see that again because I think I missed some stuff. I was like, yeah, I'll probably watch it again eventually, but I wasn't excited. Like this is a level 2 tier MCU movie in my mind. This doesn't get up into those top tier where like, holy shit, this fucking puts it on a whole new level.
It's in the middle. It's like better than Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh no.
2.
No. Oh well.
2 better than Guardians of the Galaxy 2 in my opinion.
I don't know.
It's better than Thor: The Dark World, which I just watched. I just don't. I'm not saying that as a joke.
That's not a big jump.
Well,
Thor: The Dark World is not good. And I love Thor.
I know.
I agree with you. It's not one of like the top tier, but it's pretty good. I mean, it compared to some of the ones that have come out lately.
See now, Thunderbolts.
I'd put it about on the level of Thunderbolts, honestly.
I think Thunderbolts is more rewatchable.
I think Thunderbolts is a little better than this, but not much, but a little bit.
And not much, but it's about on that level, yeah.
Yeah, it's in the same category. It's the same ballpark.
Noah, you mentioned Sue Storm had a lot of screen time, and I think you were saying that as more of a negative, but I don't know if we actually talked about Vanessa Kirby.
No, it's not a negative. I'm not trying to say it's a negative. I'm just saying that this story revolved around family and revolved around Sue Storm and her pregnancy, the birth of Franklin, which is a character. I mean, everything they did is comic accurate. This story is so Sue Storm centric.
Yeah.
That I think they lose the Fantastic Four and it becomes Fantastic One and her friends.
What I want to point out is I think that was when we talked about Sue Storm, that might have been it. And I just want to point out how much I enjoyed Vanessa Kirby's performance. I thought it was really powerful.
I agree.
And I think I'd like to see the movie again and get some more of her performance because I thought it was the emotional arc of the movie.
Yes,
absolutely. But I think she kind of did her best to keep the family afloat.
No, and you're right. And I don't want it to come off as a negative, like I'm trying to say, oh, they made a centric movie and it's bad. No, I think what they did with her was great. And I think the story is about her pregnancy and her and Franklin, like, and it pulls in Reed Richards a little bit with his, like, I'm not going to give up my son for this, which I agree. I agree. And that's where the one time where he seemed like Richards is, he's like, oh yeah, no, we didn't win and I'm not giving up my kid. Her speech, kind of cringy, not really great. Like, but that's the writers. She did a great job delivering.
I was surprised at the reaction of some people, like, no, give up your baby. It's like, what? Come on.
That brings up a huge question. I mean, granted, now, if anybody ever asked me,
I don't have kids. What if you do it? I wouldn't give up my fucking dog to save the world, let alone a child.
That's the question, though. Is could you give up your child? I think there's been plenty. I think could you give up your child to save humanity? You know, it's a huge question. It's like the good of the one or the good of the many kind of thing. It's granted, all parents are going to be like, "Fuck you, I'm keeping my kid."
Yeah,
and get it. They're the one family that could find a way to save them, which I also thought was kind of cheesy. I was like,
but I would just think people could understand that. I was surprised how many people just kind of said, "What? How dare you not give up your child?" Yeah. It's like there's got to be at least.
Oh no, I think that would be the bigger.
I think there'd be some, but I think there'd be other people that would be supportive of it.
Yeah,
I didn't see.
Well, think about this.
Also,
though.
I don't
like the other thing. Go ahead, Nina. I'll jump in.
I don't think I would step out of the rocket the second we got back to Earth and say, the only way to save Earth is to give up our child, which we're not going to do, by the way.
That was the one Reed Richards things that he actually did.
I'm sure he did, but it's like I would say, look, we're gonna do everything we can to defeat this guy, and giving up our child is the absolute last resort.
Here's the thing I thought about it, but here's the thing I thought about it too, though. The thing they didn't really touch on, and the thing that was in the back of my mind the whole time with this, was that it wasn't so much that we don't want to give up our kid. Who's to say that giving up their kid is going to end it? Who's to say this guy's trustworthy? Right. Who's to say that giving up their kid is going to be like, I'm going to take your kid. Oh, and I'm also going to eat your world because I'm kind of peckish. Like, I mean, like, what the fuck? Like, you don't know that that's going to happen or not. Like,
I'm sure he would have been willing to drop. He could have drawn up a contract, and
Right, and I'm sure he would have honored it.
That was the other thing. They didn't actually get into the details. They're like, well, why do you want a kid? Like, if he would have just said, oh, well, he can take my spot, and then I can fucking retire, they might have been like, oh shit. So you mean he doesn't have to?
You don't know if that would have happened. I mean, who knows?
No, but I'm saying is they didn't even get to. They went, oh, yeah, a kid. Now fuck that. We're gonna get back to our ship and get the fuck out of here. They didn't. There was a lot of ball dropping in this. So no, but you're right. Just they didn't get the whole story. You're right.
Oh, I gotcha.
You're right, Steve. It was a weird thing where he came out and said, yeah, I'm not giving up my kid. But Sue also said, look, I'm not giving up my kid to save this world, but I'm not giving up this world to save my kid. You know, she put it in this look, I'm going to do everything I can to save all of you.
Yeah.
Where Reed Richards is like, he doesn't have the thought to say, look, I'm going to do everything I can to save all of you too, but I'm saving my kid first. And Franklin is, in the comics, like one of the most powerful beings of all beings. Is like he can rewrite reality, like on the fucking go. So
yeah,
as
a
baby, or you're saying
just in general, like he literally came out the womb being able to do that, but they deal with him over time and stuff in the comics, but he is literally one of the most powerful. And so I get all that. They're kind of jumping right into the fucking meat of Marvel, history and stuff like that. One of the things that they did with Johnny Storm that I think was I understand why they're doing it for today, but I think it hurts his character. Is they kind of took away his playboyness, right? He was he was the Iron Man, the Starkness of it, where he was a playboy philanthropist. He just, he was the most eligible bachelor ever, and he played it up and he did it, and he was that man. And they kind of play him up now as like this. Oh, I like space, and I like this space girl. There wasn't a lot to him, and I think
that's 2025.
No, I mean, and I get it. We've got new criteria where we judge everybody on, but I also think that why can't we just have that? It gives him more character. Like, he's kind of a shit guy. He's kind of the guy that he's going to date you just because you're hot and dump you after it because the next hot chick comes up. That is Johnny Storm, but he's also going to fucking save babies and pull your shit out of the fire. Literally, he's that guy. Why can't we have that also? Like, why do we always have to steer away from him and make it like he wasn't the scientist guy. He was kind of a dumb guy that got these powers in the original comic. Not dumb, but just he wasn't the
not
linguist.
The smartest.
That they make him in this
Fantastic Four. Yeah.
And I kind of think it hurt his character a little bit. They kind of played it up. I think Sue Storm says, "Oh yeah," and I got my eligible brother going up. And they kind of played it up a little bit, but it just didn't fit. And except for he's got the hots for glitter tits, and she's way out of his league, and she shows it. But it's like it just. I think it hurt the Johnny Storm character a little bit. That was one of the things. The Chris Evans character, right? He plays it up really well.
He does it the best. He's the best Johnny Storm for sure.
That's why it was watch that drop. Everybody says, look, that Fantastic Four movie sucked, except for Johnny Storm. So take that Johnny Storm, write a movie around him, that you fix the rest of the characters. Give us the rest of these characters, even the Reed Richards we got, which I think could be better. Sue Storm is great how she is. Ben Grimm, as much as I hate seeing Cousin in him, I love the character. I love the actor. I just don't want my cousin in my Ben Grimm. Keep your peanut butter out of my chocolate. Like keep them separated. Give us the best of the best. You know what I mean?
I was reading an article. The guy who's playing Hagrid, who's we just covered the
new Hagrid.
Yeah, the new Hagrid. Yeah, he was in Hot Fuzz, and
that's the new Hagrid.
That's the new Hagrid. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. I love that guy.
But he was talking. He was talking about how to play Hagrid, and he was saying that they were asking him, are you going to try to do it like Rupert, whoever played Hagrid in the
Rupert Grimm?
I think that was Ron. Was that?
Oh, you're right. That is Ron. Yeah, are you going to play Hagrid as Ron?
But
that would be something.
He made it sound like he wasn't going to avoid some of the good things that the guy who played Hagrid did, because that's part of the character, but really kind of lean into the nuance of character and just evolve as it comes about. But there was this question of whether he was going to try to avoid acting like the previous Hagrid to avoid any sort of comparisons. And I think he kind of acknowledged that, well, that's not kind of how you do it. You still have a character that's written on the page a certain way, and you want to bring out some of those things. The reason I'm saying this is that, Chris Evans did it one way, and that's great. You want to be able to honor the same character that's in the comic book, but I'm kind of glad that it wasn't a retread of the way Chris Evans did it. I kind of enjoyed his portrayal. I didn't feel like he was leaning into, the fear of cancel culture or things that's going on.
Well, that was the writers. It wasn't the actor. I'm saying the writers pulled back what Johnny Storm was.
Some of the dialogue that he
just his attitude. He wouldn't have been worried about coming up with a linguistic. He would have been out dating. He would have been out.
I don't use this term that much, but I think that's our woke culture. That's why they did that.
That's why I said cancel culture. Yeah,
I agree 100%. And I think it was a wrong take on it. I think like sometimes you have to have the shithead, the guy that you don't necessarily agree with. Right? Like
you have to have the Quill. You have to have the Peter Quinn. You have to have the Peter Quinn.
Yeah, not everybody is perfect. Like sometimes there's going to be people that like, oh man, you are so on top of it right here, but this shit here I can't get with. And that doesn't make a person bad. It makes a person depth, right? There's character. It makes them someone unique.
You wanted him to go out there and say, I got good genes, right? And just see what happens.
I wonder if they were trying to avoid doing things they've done before. I mean, the thing is, the MCU is they're not in a bottle. They're those films.
Good call.
Along with the DC films are probably the most analyzed, talked about, criticized, speculated on of any films out there. And like I said, when we did Captain America: Brave New World, and I said a lot of the fighting scenes really reminded me of the Iron Man fighting scenes because it's like it's another flying character, and he kind of does it the same way. And I wonder if maybe they were saying, okay, so we want Reed Richards to be a genius, but we don't want him to be like a Tony Stark genius or a Bruce Banner genius. And we want, we want Johnny Storm to be like a man about town, but we don't want him to be like Iron Man and Iron Man 2, where he was, falling off of stuff. And, we don't want him to be like Chris Evans in the original films. We want to try and do something. I did like that he wasn't just, that he wasn't just there because he was Sue Storm's brother. I mean, I sometimes got that feeling in some of the movies and even the comic to an extent. Like, yeah, he's handsome and he's a playboy and everybody loves him, but he was just there to fill out. He was just there to be number.
Not been flame on guy, like he might not have been there at all.
Well,
right. Why? The reason, but I think with him kind of trying to analyze Silver Surfer's language and trying to figure out like what does she want? How can we communicate with her? How can we, use her to our advantage? Actually showed us like he's no dummy either. He might not be a Reed Richards, but he's pretty bright. He's he's a good scientist.
I think that is part of the comics. Is I don't know if he's a scientist as they made him in this. They made him a little more intelligent.
I think you're right.
He is. They nail him in the fact of where he's going to sacrifice himself to knock Galactus into the thing. That is the Johnny Storm. Like he's the brash hero. Like I will do
first ask question later.
Yes, he is that guy, and I think that is the only time they really. Well, they nailed it a little bit when he's in space. When they're first taking on Galactus and he's kind of burning close to his limit.
Oh, down to the 1%.
Yeah,
or whatever.
He's the guy that will sacrifice himself for his family and stuff like that. And I like that they did that, but I think they missed the part where he's also the playboy out there because it's a visual thing with him. He's got that kind of. He doesn't trust his own self, so he has to feel like he has to put himself out there. You know what I mean? And that's why he's also that daredevil.
They did discuss that his womanizing in previous portrayals was something that they would probably stay away from because it wouldn't be considered. They considered that it wouldn't be considered sexy by modern audiences. So they were trying to think of how audiences would react. And so, the writers did probably lean back on that womanizing, but due to you know, they're still wanting to have audiences, not you know, they're catering a bit to.
There's a way to do it that I think they just missed out. Like I think Johnny Storm just didn't get nailed the way I would have liked it. Just like Ben Grimm kind of got sidelined. Like there's got to be a way to have those guys. Like I guess what I really wanted is I want team effort, which we didn't see, and we haven't really seen a lot in the MCU. Where in the comics they you know, almost like a video game where, you know, when you have these 4-player video games and they have special combos where where you stand next to each other and you hit the left, right together, and then all of a sudden you grab their arms and you're spinning around and you got these multi-attacks. Yeah. That is the shit that we saw in the comics where Reed Richards is stretching out and Sue fucking creates a you know, sphere around Johnny and, you know, pinballs him around the town, and, you know, they do this shit. It's like they find a way to use their powers together to make this, you know, thing. It's however it is. That's what I wanted to see in this, and that's what the Incredibles did. The Incredibles did it so incredibly. Puns, puns. But you know, it just was that's what I wanted, and I think that's why if they would have went for a lower level villain, it might have worked. You know, we got Galactus, who we haven't really talked yet, but Ralph Innes. You know, people were gushing over like, oh man, I saw the face, I knew the face, I heard the voice, I knew the. Like I did. To me, Galactus was just kind of a nothing burger in this. To me, like I was just like, this to me is a Godzilla movie, right? It really is. It's like, kind of okay. Really, Godzilla should be kicking all of your asses, and somehow you pull it out in the end. And I really don't even believe how you guys beat this. That's what this was to me, and I was like,
that's how they won, Bond strength.
No, and I'm okay with that in the long run. And I don't like the fact that she actually died. I wish that she would.
I don't like the fact that they brought her back to life. It's such a trope. Such a trope. Don't let her die.
Like have her just fucked up. Yes. Yeah. And I love that Franklin is the one that, you know, and the baby comes in and brings her back, whatever, helps her fucking.
Such a trope, though.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all. I did like that the Silver Surfer was the one that came and made the final sacrifice to knock Galactus into.
That. Did that happen? Did she ever die in the comics and get brought back to life by?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Not as a baby, no. Not as a baby. So let me ask you
this: is the part the way the way they talked about it with her in the story, the Silver Surfer, is that accurate? That she was like basically enslaved by Galactus, or it seems
I think that's a legit like.
It's
okay.
The Silver Surfer is imbued by the cosmic powers from Galactus to be his herald, right? I can't think of the other guy's name. She's only in a couple comics, so this isn't a gender swap. This isn't like, oh, they just fucking made a female. No, that is a legit character, so I have no issues with that. She's not a big character. I think she's in a total of like 4 or 5 comics total. From what I understand, it doesn't bother me at all. It works. Like I said, I'm not a huge Silver Surfer fan to begin with.
Shia LaBeouf was actually a long-standing love interest of Norrin Radd, who was
Norrin Radd. That's it.
I wouldn't say original Silver Surfer, but there's kind of some controversy there. If you talk to, did you ever see Crimson Tide? What is it? Denzel Washington says something about.
I gotta look at that. I remember that now. Yeah.
Where he's talking about the Kirby's Silver Surfer is the actual Silver Surfer, because when Kirby first wrote the Silver Surfer, it didn't have a name. It was much more of it was Stan Lee that when Kirby stepped away, who kind of created this origin story and went a little bit, took it a different direction with this Norrin Radd, yeah. And then again, they created the Shia LaBeouf character, and so it's not a precise. Well, it depends on which comics you look at. If you want to look at the true origin, the Kirby origin, then
which was Fantastic Four number 48.
Well, then you don't even get.
But in there, they just have him as as Silver Surfer is a humanoid alien with metallic skin. So it might have been Nordrad. They just didn't get deep into his backstory. No one asked him who he was. No one checked his fucking ID. So they could both be right.
Well, you gotta talk to Denzel Washington in Crimson Tide, because he certainly thought there was a huge difference. That was the one. The true Silver Surfer was the original one that Kirby brought, not the one that Stan Lee kind of, screwed it all up. So
you mean Stan Lee just added some backstory to it? Okay, got it.
Well,
anyways,
I'm just pointing out that that's not what these.
Denzel, a character
Denzel
in a
agrees
movie,
with
said.
in
Yes,
Crimson
got it.
Tide. So.
In a movie, some writer wrote that in there for him to say as an actor. Got
And
it.
you know what
Okay.
writer? You know what writer that was?
No.
Quentin Tarantino.
Fuck. Of course. Of course it would be.
Mad genius.
Yeah.
Anyways, like I said, I don't have a problem with it. As a lot of people have issues with the gender swap or race swap of characters, and like this is not the case. So I don't have any issue with that. I also there's not a lot to it. Like it doesn't do anything for me. But then again, like I said, the whole Silver Surfer as a character also doesn't do a lot. But that's just me. I did not read tons and tons of Fantastic. I read more about Franklin. I read more about Franklin when he was with Power Pack than I ever did probably any true Fantastic Four books. So that there goes. And yes, Franklin did not show his powers until he was much older. I'm not mistaken.
They didn't name him right away either. I think the name Franklin didn't come about until a few episodes later.
It's possible. Like I said, I'm not a huge, deep, like, oh my God, I know everything about Fantastic. I don't know everything about a lot of comics. I know I enjoyed him as a child.
I did like
and a
what Nina
teenager.
did. I just listened to a bunch of Easter egg videos the last couple days to kind of fill me in on some of the details, but I've never read any of the comic books.
But what I do like
again, I was familiar with them because they just showed up in other comics.
Yes.
But I always thought they were pretty good.
I enjoyed them. Like I said, my favorite one is still The Incredibles, and I'll stand by that forever. I think what this does, though, is we're starting phase 6 now of the MCU.
Oh, is it
right?
phase 6?
We're working
this is
towards
the first one.
Working towards. We got a great. I think it's the mid credit for Doom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is going to be the next big bad. I still stand behind. I think it was a mistake to have Robert Downey Jr. be Doom. I think that is a horrible mistake in my mind. Whatever they're going to do, we'll see if it comes out. I think they're still chasing that elusive Lucius dollar that they will never get again, that they got the original 3 phases and stuff like that. But we'll see. There's a lot of stuff about this that was fun. There was a lot of stuff about this that was like, oof, could have been more. I kind of want my movies like this to be longer. Like, it felt short to me, and I know I might be in the minority of this, but I like a 2.5 hour movie. Like, to me, 2 hours, under 2 hours, this was like, oof. Like, especially in the fact that the fucking credits were forever long, and that final post-credit scene, that I'm mad at. Fucking Marvel owes me like 6 minutes because that was ridiculous.
I thought
it was stupid. That did nothing for me. It did I was like, really? That you had to stick around that long through that much credits for that bullshit?
It reminds me of, so I used to, when I lived in San Francisco, I used to go to the Alamo Draft House all the time. That's like one of those, it's one of the first theaters that had like table service and drinks to, they come around and give you drinks and all that kind of stuff or whatever. And it's, there's one in Austin, San Francisco, New York, anyway. But before the movies, they show, like, before Deadpool, they showed all these old Deadpool, like, cheesy comics and Japanese ripoffs and all that kind of stuff. And they showed all that kind of stuff. And for me, this was like kind of like reminded me of seeing like the pre-movie stuff from the Alamo Drafthouse, and it kind of like warmed my heart a little bit. But I get what you're saying. Like if you didn't have that, I get it. It's kind of bullshit.
That'd be perfect. Show that before. Because here's the thing: if I had to pee really bad and I stuck around for that hurting, I would be mad. I was like, really? Luckily, I mean, like Superman. Superman is like a total of 15 minutes longer, right? And I literally ran out there because I had to pee, and I had to look up the mid-credit one because I missed it because I didn't get back in time. But I was like, so much better than and worth it than this one was. I like the mid-credit scene. Yes, that was great. That's the next thing that's coming up.
You mean the one at the end of Superman when they're pointing out the crack in the wall? You thought that was worth it?
I thought that was better than this cartoon.
That one.
I missed the one.
I mean, I didn't understand it until you explained it to me, but I thought it was very weird and not worth it. I like this one a little more than the Superman one. But
oh my god, I thought it was horrible. I was like, that is one of the worst.
It just reminded me of my childhood
ever.
Seeing some of those comics, and yeah, and they drew them. They drew them to the characters, the new characters.
Right, which is funny because I don't think I ever watched Fantastic Four as an animated series.
No, I didn't either. It had that feel.
Yeah, I thought it was horrible. I was totally upset. I was like, that was ridiculous. You guys wasted so much of my time. Damn you, Marvel. But no, I mean,
you'll be back. You're gonna watch. You're gonna.
Oh, I'm gonna watch everything they do, and I'm gonna watch it in the theater because I'm that guy. Yes, I will. I don't even know what's next. What do we got?
Spider-Man.
Yep. Is that even going to be is it going to be tied into this at all, though?
Brand New Day, 2026. That's the next one in the, I believe.
Yeah. I found a $6 movie theater, by the way.
Nice.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, but only Sunday before 6 p.m. and Monday and Tuesday. But I can make that work. Get up early, go to an early flick on Sunday and head out to brunch. But yeah.
Yeah, it's only the third movie on Thursday if it's in this theater.
Right.
I get it. Yeah, no, that's funny.
Real quick, I have a couple problems.
Yeah.
With, I couldn't suspend disbelief on a few of these. First of all, Subterranean City. The rebar we've already talked about. The Subterranean City. There was zero reinforcement. It's like they dug tunnels that were 30, 40 feet high with no reinforcement. Like,
you don't know what their architects
walking on top of it, he would have collapsed through.
You don't know what their architects.
It was dirt. They showed the dirt falling down. It was dirt.
He just said it was.
There were no
arches. Wipe your feet.
There was nothing.
You don't know.
You could see it anyway. Okay, I had a problem.
But you believe there's
I think
80-foot alien walking through town.
I think it's a valid.
I've never seen.
It's a valid point for an
alien.
architect to bring up. Let's hear him out.
Yeah. All right. the other one, Noah, I don't know why you have not brought this up, and you didn't appreciate this. You work at a place that designs basically rockets, right?
Guidance systems, yes. We put the smart bombs.
How terrible of a rocket design was that rocket? It had the middle engine, which is great, but then you have those long arms of, like, any of those is off by a fraction.
Wait, remember, it's probably designed by Reed Richards.
Still,
it was designed by Reed Richards, and he's the best mind in the world.
Atmospheric anomaly or whatever, it's the worst rocket design. There's never been a rocket design like that in the history of rockets. It's the worst. Airplanes, maybe, not rockets. Terrible rocket design. And last but not least...
Very comic accurate, though.
Very accurate to the comic. Yes, 100% accurate to the comic. Which, anyway. And the whole power outage thing, the whole everybody has to stop using power from 8 p.m. on and all that kind of stuff. We found out that won't work. People wouldn't wear fucking masks How are we going to get them to turn off the fucking power?
I think
for fucking 12 hours a day.
It was the 60s.
Yeah, well, it was also a different universe, and I think that was kind of.
You're right.
It was pointing out that in better times people do try to work together, and we have seen that in our past where
I have heard
World War II.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
people did it during World War II and all that.
But you're right.
Women,
it is
women
not.
did wear pantyhose, just for the war effort.
I mean, it was the 82. It was 1965 in 828. I think.
Yes.
And the 828, the use of the 828 was fucking genius. How they came up with the 828.
Was that
I love
Kirby's
that.
birthday or something?
Kirby's. It's
Yeah.
it's a month in the day of his birthday. I'm like, that's fucking amazing.
I honestly love that because Kirby is like, he's my guy. I love him.
Isn't he the one that couldn't draw feet?
No. That's Liefeld. That's Rob
Liefeld. Liefeld. That's right.
Rob Liefeld, who he created. He's the one. They
couldn't draw feet.
I don't know if he was the first artist who did Deadpool or whatever.
I think
Deadpool
so. Yeah.
And Wolverine.
Yeah.
And when they're walking through the town, in the background is Liefeld's Just Feet store.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Let me tell you this. Rob Liefeld has gone further in the comic profession while having no discernible talent whatsoever than anyone in the history of the universe. But no, Jack Kirby is probably, I mean, everybody's like, oh yeah, Stan Lee started Marvel. He didn't really. He just outlived anyone who
actually stole it from a bunch of people.
I was gonna say he outlived everybody who could.
He also ran the team that did it. So it's kind of like it's kind of like you're on a team and he's the leader and he kind of just took a lot of credit for.
And
the
he
whole
gets all the
team.
credit because that's what upper management does. They take the credit for what everybody else does.
Well, and you
We've
could
all
be like
experienced that.
Steve Jobs was not a computer genius. He had a lot of people, but he drove.
Steve
those
Wozniak.
people. Yeah. But he pushed and without that sort of authoritarian push, it probably wouldn't have wouldn't have happened. Not that that's
Okay.
Good.
Anyway, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, there were a lot of people there who, the characters look the way they do and they act the way they do because of them, not because of Stan Lee.
Yeah, it's a team. It's not just one guy. And yes, he was. He was the face of Marvel, regardless of whatever anybody wants to say.
Yeah,
he was the face of Marvel. So, there was also one other scene. I know it was done for a joke, and it was funny for about 3 seconds, but it went on for about 3 minutes. And it was the whole baby seat thing in the Fantastic car.
I thought that was funny. I thought
it was funny.
I got a huge crack up over that.
It was funny for a few seconds, and then it was like, come on, just okay, really.
No, I agree with you. No,
the reason
it was funny, but yeah, you end it, you move on.
That's what I picture. I'll tell you what. That's what I picture. I don't have kids. Never put a baby seat in my entire life, but that's what I picture new dads doing with baby seats, with the mom looking on like, what the fuck are you guys doing? I could do this in 30 seconds.
Right. Well, that's the other part of it is like, first off, they're all supposed to be fucking geniuses, right? Even Ben Graham, who is a pilot, is supposed to be pretty damn smart. Come on. It went on a little long.
Having been part of a group of 6 people who took 20 minutes to fold up a pack and play, I was very realistic.
Now that's a little different because those motherfuckers are buckle.
Come on.
But I think to Noah's point, you're not saying that the joke wasn't funny. You're just saying they played it too long.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that it started off great. It was about
great idea for execution.
Twice as long as it needed to be. Or what they should have done is had Sue come in and push them all out of the way and put it in.
Just good joke.
Yes, that would have been fucking hilarious. That would have been much better. But I mean, maybe Sue had already had too much of a demand control over the entire movie.
Yeah. I'm also surprised. Speaking of stuff like that, I'm also surprised with the baby stuff. They didn't have one puking baby scene. Like that's always seems like a trope they always have with a new baby, where the baby throws up on somebody or something. None of that. I'm surprised.
I do like.
I'm glad they didn't do that, but I have to say that baby's birth in 0G was the most pristine birth I've ever seen.
Yeah. I've heard some very interesting aspects of what they like, where she goes invisible during the moment of birth, and she does that so Ben doesn't have to see her naughty bits.
Her vagine.
I was like, oh, I didn't even think that at all. I just thought her powers were kind of going because she's in a stressful situation. I was like, oh,
maybe.
And then was the other one, like them having to hold her down. But the other thing is, someone brought up, no one ever fed that baby. That baby goes through this whole movie without ever eating. No bottle, no nothing. Just like, no, he's a genius. He don't need to eat. I was like, oh shit. I thought the things that people come up with are hilarious in movies and that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, a good movie and all. I do recommend it for a Marvel fan. I think it's second tier Marvel movie. It's not up in that high echelon.
I put it second tier, not third tier.
37 movies deep now, something like that. I think this is somewhere in that high teens, low 20s.
That's fair.
I will say it's one of those things. I will say, if you're one of those people who's complaining that you haven't caught up with every single minute of everything Marvel's put out,
this one works.
This one will work for you because you don't have to go in with like any any pre-knowledge.
That's true. It's its own new universe we haven't seen before, and it's a whole new introduction.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No. Well, that's it. Yeah, we got a while before they got anything else coming out Marvel, so we'll see what happens next. Hopefully, they have some stuff hidden on us that they've kept in their back pocket, and they're going to throw at us without us even knowing. But I doubt that's the case because they really like to pump up themselves and let us know. So we got a year before we see anything new. Yeah, not much else other than I can say, are you going to baby-proof the world?
Hail Caesars.
Hail Caesars.
Love you guys.